Okay, hi everyone. My name's PK, and here I've got Adarsh, who has bought two properties, I think, in the last 3 months. And in the next 10 minutes, we'll just be unpacking his journey before doing the property investment accelerator and how he used the property investment accelerator to buy these two properties interstate from Melbourne. And Adarsh, hopefully, will just share some golden nuggets, some advice, some tips and tricks so that those of you who want to buy interstate or are looking to buy positive cash flow, high growth properties can sort of take your next step to doing that. So before I sort of introduce your deals, Adarsh, once again, like I was saying before, thank you for making time.
Yeah, thanks, PK. So good to be part of it.
Awesome, awesome. So the first property that Adarsh bought is in Northern Adelaide for $427,000. The rent is $390, and he got this literally the day after it was listed. And because it was such a hot market, he used negotiation tactics to get it, off market, to get it under contract, because it had gone to first open home, it would have gone for 5, 10, maybe 15, $20,000 more. The second property is on the south side of Brisbane. Coincidentally, the same price, $427,000, $427,500. And after building in Pest, you're able to get $2,500 off, which is always good. The rent on this is a little bit better, 420. And this was actually going to go to auction, and he prevented it from going to auction, thereby getting an amazing deal. We'll probably go into that in a few minutes. But both properties, neutral to positively geared, high growth suburbs. I mean, even though you've just bought these in the last 3 months, Adarsh, they're probably worth well more than what you bought them already. And just really solid fundamental investment properties to grow a portfolio. So with Adarsh, your permission, I might just ask you a few questions, and hopefully everyone who's watching, those of you who are listening and watching, you kind of can do this for yourself as well. So maybe just start off, Adarsh, like, you're based in Melbourne. You're saying before that, you were trying to find positively geared properties in Melbourne, but you weren't really able to do so. Just talk me through your kind of mindset at that time. Where were you looking around Melbourne? Why were you not happy to buy in Melbourne itself?
Yeah, so especially some of the factors like more investment properties around and not much of good infrastructure and facilities. Some of the new suburbs are getting developed around Melbourne, so where the land size is very less and a lot of first home buyers, and they're buying the places. And I did not find these suburbs much appealing. So that's one of the reasons why I was looking around around Melbourne. And then I was looking at this place in Alfreton in Ballarat. So that's where I felt it makes more sense. Then I started buying. I bought a land there, and I started to go with construction. So that's when I started my investment property journey. But after I did that, then I kind of stuck. So if I'm looking to buy something else, so around Melbourne, and again, the Ballarat market also increased, and I could not find anything. And especially if I have to be either positively gated or neutrally gated, so that's not happening for me. So then I have to go interstate. So that's when I started following your course. Did not enroll in the course, but I was going through your videos, your Facebook group, and talking about potentially where different regions, how we can buy and how we can buy interstate. So that's when I thought, okay, this might be a good opportunity for me to consider this course and maybe go from there to plan and buy interstate. So that's how I got in touch with you, PK. And after that, yeah, I managed to buy a couple of properties through the course, and it's very helpful, and anyone can do it, I can confidently say, once they do the course.
Awesome. Thank you for that. So maybe on the first property in northern side of Adelaide, it's a fantastic suburb. It's hard to buy in Adelaide. Anyone who's watching this and is trying to buy in Adelaide, I don't care who you are, it's not easy. You managed to do it very quickly, two properties in 3 months. How were you able to, not just get rejected in your offers, property after property after property? Maybe at a high level or some golden nuggets, how were you able to actually get this one under contract so quickly?
Yes, I was looking at two to three suburbs, whichever met my criteria, especially in Adelaide. So one is, I believe it's Taparu, and other is in, I think, Happy Valley, and the third one is so wherever it is where I bought it. So what I've done is I put a couple of offers in these other suburbs. What happened was these offers were not considered because I was looking at the prices, sold prices, which are like 1 month earlier or 2 months earlier than the current date. So even though the day of settlement happened in this particular month, but the price what they have bought is like maybe 1 month or 2 months old.
Mm.
So that's the reason I'm not doing my CMA right. And in fact, one of the property, I think in Tepperoo or somewhere. So I was keeping an offer for 410 or something, and it went all the way up to. I did not get the property, but when someone took the property, it was sold for close to 480 or 490. So that was the case. It was very close to the beach. Then I realized, okay, the CMA indexing should be right. And
Yeah.
I started doing my CMA indexing well for the other suburb where I bought. And when I was doing the indexing, the property prices for the similar block size and the similar condition property, I think the CMA was around that 430 or 440 mark. So considering a little bit, still around 25-year-old property, what I bought, I
Yeah.
thought it's from the photos I could not make whether it's in reasonable condition because the sales agent, I could see that the photos were taken from her mobile, the sales agent's mobile. The photos were not at all clear. I could not make out much on the property, and I engaged my property manager to visit the property and do an inspection. But even for that, the sales agent was not ready to entertain.
Mm.
So for some reason, sales agent want to get someone who were committed to buy the property. So I try to give an impression that I'm committed to buy the property, and without even engaging my property manager to do the first inspection, I said, okay, I'm buying it. I put the offer, and the next day morning I got, okay, this offer is accepted. And that's when I said, okay, so let's say offer is accepted. So I'm fine to lose that $500, whatever the building and pest, whatever I want to do. So I went forward with building and pest. So luckily there were no issues. Otherwise, I would lose the money what I spent for building and pest. That's the risk what I went forward with. And eventually, it was, I would say, um, the photos what were put were completely different to what the actual property looks like. And afterwards, when I advertised the property, I took a new professional photographer to do the photo shoot through my property manager, and the photos came through very good
Very
because
good.
it's property. Hmm.
Yeah, sometimes you can have bad photos and the property is even worse. Sometimes you can have bad photos and the property is actually quite good. So I think, the key takeaway for those of you who are really, taking notes is don't just rely on what the sales agent is saying, the advertised price, is the value of the property. Don't just go by comparables a month, 2 months ago. You need to really understand the market, and that's really what Adarsh learned how to do and then implement for this Adelaide property. It is not easy to buy in Adelaide, if you don't know these things. And the second one, in the
And
south
I'll
side.
add one more point there
Go
because
ahead.
the sales agent was in a hurry. I could see that the photos were taken on the mobile, and she wants to get someone serious buyer in a day or two. Because when I talk to the sales agent, also she's like very much busy. Maybe she's dealing with multiple properties. I'm not sure. So the inputs I got from the sales agent is I need to get some offer, good offer by the same day. So the following day, the sales agent is ready to go into contract, but the sales agent is not ready to wait for 2 or 3 days and drag on. So that's when
Yeah.
I said, whatever I put the offer, I'll put my best offer forward so that I get it. Because before that, I lost a couple of properties because my CMA indexing was not right.
Yeah. No, they're great insight. And a similar thing you did in the Brisbane one, right? Because you can't be negotiating and playing hard to get in a very hot market. This property in the south side of Brisbane, it was due to go to auction. So are you able to share how it was that you were able to entice or lure or establish a relationship with the agent to give it to you before auction? Because people think that establishing a relationship with an agent is really hard, that you need to be a professional, that you need to have years of experience. You did it, I think, was it in 3 weeks? So maybe just unpack that a little bit and kind of what are the key things that you did so that you had this sort of agent as a best friend, so to speak.
Yeah, so in fact, for the second property, the sales agent was very nice. So first property, the sales agent was a little bit, I would say, in a hurry to sell the property. But for the second property, the sales agent was able to give clear insight, what were the preferred factors. And I was talking with this particular sales agent almost for 2 to 3 weeks before I finalized on this property. So that sales agent was selling other properties where it's not meeting my criteria. It's not in the right pockets of the suburb. And I was looking at some pockets which are like good pockets in that region, so no housing commission areas or these sort of details. And then the sales agent shown a couple of properties which I said that this is my criteria. I've been very precise. This is my criteria. If I get something in this criteria, I'll just buy it. So then this particular sales agent, I've noticed either they're doing off market or auction kind of deals. So I've seen a couple of auction kind of deals the sales agent have done before. And there's this new property that came up that is again auction kind of, it was advertised as an auction. When I contacted the sales agent, I said, okay, is the buyer, can the buyer consider any offers before auction? So the agent said, okay, it can be considered. So I did my CMA. So because of my experience I did with Adelaide property, I could make out, okay, how the indexing to be done and how the comparables are happening in that region, especially in the couple of suburbs where I'm looking at. And I put my best offer forward and it got accepted.
Awesome. It's always good to hear because, those people who absorb knowledge, but then actually implement, they get results. You don't need to be on the sidelines trying to find properties for months and months and months. It's not hard if you just follow a recipe and just, one step after another, which is what you did. And the first experience in Adelaide probably, aided you to get an easier result the second time or kind of, build upon that knowledge from that Adelaide property. So, it's such a good feeling doing it yourself. I think the last question I'll add, Adarsh, is, you already you were in the process of buying one property, the one in Ballarat, even before doing the property investment accelerator. You told me before that you have some interest in real estate overseas as well. What would be your advice to someone perhaps in your shoes that maybe is a property investor already, but now, they're in Sydney or Melbourne or somewhere else. They want to buy outside their backyard, outside where they live. They want to follow data. They also want to learn how to buy, negotiate value, have the team around them. If they're on the fence, they're not sure whether they really need the property investment accelerator or whether it's worth it. Like, please give your honest advice, whether you thought it was worth it for yourself and, what you would suggest to them.
Yeah, definitely. I feel it's worth it, especially if anyone in the mindset where they say you're buying investment property for at least let it pay on its own, like a neutral gearing, or at least you should get some money out of it, like a positive gearing from day one. So if people in those mindset, so if they're living in Sydney or Melbourne, you won't find any properties meeting that criteria. So that's the reason why I went to Ballarat for my first property, because I want to make some money out of it, or at least I want it to be paying itself most of the time. And so once I done with my Ballarat property, and after that, due to the property market boom, so in fact Ballarat, even Bendigo, these sort of regions went so up that I can't get good properties. And so I don't want to go too regional. So that's one of my main criteria. I want to be within capital cities or maybe nearby capital cities like Geelong, Ballarat, these sort of areas. In this criteria, I was not able to get any properties, and that's the reason why I have to move to interstate. So in interstate, I know these regions are doing well, so still I can buy properties within neutral or positively cash flow. And that's when I found, in fact, I was following PK's group and the post from close to 1 year before that. In fact, I was in touch with PK before that, telling, okay, I'm planning to do the course, but maybe because of other commitments, it's not the right time. So then I figured out when the right time is and I joined the course. And as soon as I joined the course, I'm clear what I'm doing, and also the course helped me go take the right path. And I managed to buy the properties without traveling interstate. Because if it is Ballarat, I can travel, I can drive, but going to Adelaide or Brisbane, I can't do that. That too in the current COVID situation.
Yeah.
So definitely the course helped me a lot, and it gave me clear pointers what to do when, and also the right suburbs and the right pockets what to buy. So that's definitely helped me and going through the property journey.
Oh, fantastic. That's fantastic to hear. Thank you, Adarsh. And for anyone who is sort of, wanting to build a property portfolio quickly, not necessarily, one property every 5 years, but quick equity, positive cash flow, pays for itself, doesn't impact your lifestyle, especially if you're in Sydney, Melbourne, you will need to look elsewhere. You really need to learn how to do it. It's not rocket science. I'm sure Adarsh, and I can definitely speak for myself. I'm not a very intelligent person. It's just following a series of steps, understanding the data, which anyone can do. So I really implore you to learn, because property investment is well worth the effort. So a bit like Adarsh probably did, don't jump in to book a call with us. Follow us either on the Facebook group or on YouTube or my podcast. Get to know me, get to learn about what I do, see if you vibe with me, and if you do, we'd be very happy to help you, just like we helped Adarsh. But thank you so much for your time, Adarsh, and yeah, once again, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, PK. So thanks to you, PK, for answering any queries during my journey, especially when getting through the properties, and also to your team, like Samir, who also supported during the journey. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, good shout out for Samir. Thanks, Adarsh. Thank you, everyone. And guys, if you got value, I always say this, please hit the subscribe button, turn notification bell on, and give it a like so that more people will see these amazing stories like Adarsh's. Thanks so much. Bye.
Yeah, thank you, PK. Bye.